Hello, welcome back to another update. It's coming quite quickly after the last one. I had a fun weekend working on this project. Ended up in some ways more complex than I anticipated, in some ways less complex. Finished it quite quickly. So for the next one, well, I'm gonna have to choose what exactly I will be working on next, because this one is done for the moment. I'm gonna go to the second castle. So I showed that in the previous video update what exactly I was going to work on. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Thank you, Sniffer. Do you have anything else for me? Do you have a torch flower seed or whatever it's called? It appears you do not. I only have one Sniffer because the eggs are so tricky to find in the warm ocean ruins, and I just... Oh, they're not going to the fire. So the eggs are tricky to find, and it takes a lot of time. It's taken me a lot of time to come across one egg, because I had to travel a far distance out to generate chunks from the update that contained the sniffers, because a lot of my world is quite old. I generated the world initially in 2019, so that that was pre-sniffer, pre-nether update. Anyway, so I had been working at some point last year on this castle, right? This is called the second castle. It's this one huge frickin' castle that starts all the way over there at the coast and continues here, and I have happy guests parked in parking stations in there. So there was this one part of the castle that I still wanted to work on, and I had a chest monster here. I had a bunch of shulkers. I honestly forgot about it, but when I came into this room, I saw a bunch of shulkers with a bunch of different blocks all over the place, and I decided that I was going to, because this is something I like to do. It's kind of a self-imposed limitation. Sometimes it forces me to think more creatively. Where if I already have a chest monster going on in some spot, and I decide to make another addition to a build, I kind of put a limitation on myself that I will only try to use blocks that are in the chest monster, right? Whatever I brought with me originally for this project, that's what I'm going to use. I don't always keep to that restriction 100%, because sometimes I think, this type of block or this type of block would go really well with these other blocks that I've got available in the shulkers. So sometimes I do pick up something up from the main storage, and I have done that with this, but mostly I stuck to the blocks I had in these shulker boxes. And I used a lot of blocks. I used a lot of cool blocks. So what did I do with this section here? I put a statue up here of some sort of king person, or maybe queen, I don't know. I haven't really felt the need to specify. Some sort of royalty with a sword, and I put some the shelf block, right, which is very cool. I used it to put some details on the statue. I've got a crown with rubies, and I've got a belt with a diamond buckle on the back and on the front for some reason. It's a really fancy belt with double buckles. I don't know why, but that's what it is. And I have a sword. I'm really bad with statues and those kinds of builds, so I am really pleased with this one. I designed it in creative first. Took a bit of time fiddling with trying to get sort of realistic body proportions, but I think it came out okay. I like it. So I've got a statue. And then I started digging out the section under behind the wall there. You can see a bit peeking out. Made a big push inside that wall under the castle. And I had another bit of underground already, which I'm going to show you. And it didn't really lead anywhere. It just kind of had a dead end, where you enter here and have this really cool funky hallway with purple and gold blocks, purple and yellow, fun combination, and it went down. This was all like old. This was like a couple of years old, and it ended here pretty much in like a wall. And this all of this stuff wasn't here. There weren't doors here leading somewhere. But now, because I dug out this new underground section from the other side, I decided, because I checked the coordinates and I decided to connect them, right? So I've got a connection from this, which is no longer a dead end, over to the new underground section, which I want to show you going in from the coast, because I think it kind of looks better if you see it that way first. I don't know if it looks better, but like, I think it makes a better impression, a cooler impression, which, you know, I'm all about cool impressions. So let me fly over. So here is a better look at it, which wasn't raining right now, but here's a better look at the statue. And I put some of my torches up here, the same torch design that I've been using for years. I didn't want to just like put like random stuff out here, and I think the texturing with the blocks already looks kind of good enough that it doesn't feel like empty exactly. So I put some torches here for a bit of extra lighting and protection, because I have had some mishaps with creepers up here in this spot. So I, you know. So anyway, punched a hole through those, punched some entrances into the wall, and the first room. And you can see this is the style of like the walls and ceiling that I went for, using lots of different blocks, kind of transitioning from like, you know, yellow into brown into reddish. And I don't always build such elaborate walls because they're very finicky, use lots of different blocks, and it takes a bit of thinking, arranging the blocks so that you have some sort of color transition that doesn't look totally weird. And generally, building walls like this takes a long time rather than just slapping a bunch of, you know, homogeneous blocks, like a bunch of the same block into the wall with some outline, which can look cool, can look nice, but obviously it's very, very easy to do, very, very quick, right? So I decided to just go all the way on the detail and get ridiculous with it. I wanted to use lots of different blocks. So I have this room, and you can see there's not really like a purpose to this room other than it just looks cool. I don't really build in Minecraft in the, like, you know, I build a castle and I have a kitchen, I have a vault, and I have a blacksmith, and there's like full interiors that makes it look like a kitchen or makes it look like this room or that room. I'm not really into that. I did it with one castle build, but I wasn't really into that. That sort of interior decoration detail, I don't know, it's just not what I enjoy, so I don't do that for the most part. I mean, sometimes I do it. I even did a bit of that in this castle. I don't know if I ever showed it, but I have a bit of that in this castle. I have like a kind of a trophy room here. Upstairs I've got a bedroom. I think I showed it in a previous video at some point, but I don't know. So I have a bedroom here. This is the bed I was using while working on this. Over here I have like a bit of a vault and more trophies and stuff. So sometimes I do it, but as you can see, these interiors aren't very, like, they're not up to par. When you look at stuff that other people come up with, that they're very clever with those interior details. They use lots of blocks in really cool, clever ways. I am not that clever, and I don't really enjoy that stuff. I can look at it and I can enjoy, you know, what other people are able to do with it. I just don't do that myself personally. Not a lot. And when I do, it's quite limited, as you saw. But anyway, so I've got this here, and I think, like, generally this room, like, yes, I know that at some point it can just seem like block vomit. But I think I generally, when I build like this, I am able to avoid going so stupid with the block variation that it just becomes block owned. I think it still looks pretty distinctive, that you can tell that this wall is supposed to be like red, right? This wall is supposed to be red. This wall is supposed to be, have a transition from like brownish into reddish. The ceiling is supposed to be like, black gray, right? These pillars and these pillars are supposed to be white yellow, right? I think it still looks distinctive enough that you can tell, what the shape of the room is supposed to be, that it doesn't just get drowned in a sea of different blocks for no reason, right? So then I have a staircase going down, and you can see it's very dark because I used the dark blocks. And I wanted to have that impression, and because it's just stairs all the way down here. This space is spawn-proof, even though it's very dark. I like details like this where you can have a really dark spot that looks like the creepers should be spawning here, but they can't because it's spawn-proof because of the design, right? So next I have this room, and for some reason the chest monster contained lots of wood elements like trapdoors and fences and stuff, so I wanted to do something with a bunch of those, so I used a lot of them in this room. And then the really wild wall design continues. I started with the white into yellow, and then it goes into a bit of brown and red, and then ends with like a bit of red again. And this side, I started very dark in this corner, from like dark red into lighter red, into then green, because I had a bunch of copper on me for some reason in the chest monster. So a bit of green, then to grayish white. And I think these walls will look really, and obviously I tried to variate by not just using full blocks, but also like trapdoors, fences, and even used scaffolding, because scaffolding is yellow, so it fits with the yellow blocks. So I don't know. And that, yeah, every wall is different, right? I think it gives the room a bit of interest. Like you can clearly see, this is a separate wall, this is a separate wall, because this one is red, this one is like gray white, this one is yellow, yeah. So it gives you still, even though it is kind of block vomit, but it still gives you the impression of the size and the dimensions of the room, right? So I like it. I like it. And like I mentioned in a previous video, the only person whose opinion really counts when it comes to builds in my world is me. So yeah, and I like it. I like the effect. So then you've got another staircase going down, and then there's this final room here. I went super fancy with this. I have the nice vaults, the nice vaulted arches going all the way through, and then the ceiling is very dark. The floor is bright. I think it gives a bit of a roomier impression where you can't like, unless you just like stare directly at the ceiling, it kind of gives like a shadowed impression, like there are deep shadows up there. So it like makes the room seem a bit more spacious or big, taller. Hello, speaking of tall things and tall people. Hello, would you like to get killed? Come on, let me murder you. Yes. Go away. Leave me alone. I'm doing a video here. You're interrupting me. And then every wall has a unique design. So I have a couple of colors that repeat. So I have, this wall is supposed to be like green. This one is green, and this one is green. And then I think I also have 3 brown ones. So this one is brown. This one is brown, and this one is brown, right? And you can see I used like trapdoors and doors and ladders and shelves and and fences and you know, signs. Right, this one is red, white. I have 2 white walls. This one is white as well. Oh, and I had a bunch of glass as well. So this kind of wall design, right, which again, very elaborate, very finicky, lots of different blocks you're swapping out of your hotbar all the time. So even making like a small segment like this takes a few minutes, because you want to think about what block selection you're going to use first, and then it still has to kind of, you know, like the further away you are, of course, it kind of more it blends the colors, and it, you know, starts to look, oh, this wall is green, right? Like if you like really come up like real close, like it's just like what the hell is this, right? But you're not supposed to, you know, like go past this wall, because the room is empty otherwise, right? There's no like hidden anything. It's just an empty room. And I've got lighting under the floor, under slabs, right? I put glowstone some there in some spots, so it's should be spawn proof. Like here, those walls are not like, you know, oh, I need to examine each one in detail like this. But who's looking at Minecraft builds from distance? Let's come on. So the room is just supposed to like look cool when you walk through it, right? And then there is this little connective tunnel that I mentioned before, and you come out on this end. Yeah. So this build, the second castle, I mean, I will keep expanding it in the future, because it's kind of, at this point, maybe I should rename it a city, because I think it's sort of turning into a city of a sort. Let me just sleep so I don't have creepers blowing up my stuff. Give me just a moment. If I can walk through a door. Come on. All right, so let me show you what I mean. This right now is named the second castle, but originally this was 2 separate castles. Originally was the second castle, was the older one, and this was the third. Where I am right now, this was the third castle, but I decided to merge them, right? Originally there was a gate that was like closed here, but then I decided to merge them, and I have like one gigantic castle with kind of like 2 separate sections. So all of this is one gigantic castle now. It's called the second castle. I'll give you a better look from the top of the tower. Ow. So all of this is one castle now, right? This is all the second castle. And you can see there's like a bunch of empty space there coming up to this building, which I have not named yet. But you can see it's been growing. You know, this is the megabase, which is always being worked on at some point. I've got the nice, awesome, cool bridge connecting it to the second castle, and now this has been growing steadily. And then I'm gonna continue building something around here, filling up this space now, right? Connecting the second castle to this huge building, which I also have not shown on the video in a long time, so might as well. I've got, you know, the classic sword portal, which I do not have a corresponding portal in the Nether for this one yet. It's just half of the portal right now. I don't have a nether side bottom of the blade sticking out of the ceiling yet. That will be done at some point, but not today. So, you know, I'm gonna be at some point connecting the second castle to this and incorporating all of this into one continuous city, right? So I think at some point I'm gonna rename the second castle into some sort of city, right? And that's gonna be growing as one gigantic mega build, which I'm liking the idea of. But that's for the future, right? So for now, I've got... Oh, let's land over here. for another look at the statue when it's not raining. Come on, let me grab my spyglass. Here you go. Belt buckle. Crown with the bamboo blocks. And the sword. The sword came out pretty cool, I think. Hold on. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a cool silhouette, like all of those buildings in the distance, you know, overlapping. Yeah, so this has been growing into a big mega build. So it's gonna need some sort of city name at some point. But right now it's still the second castle. And I really like this new underground section. It's so colorful. I like using lots of colors. I think lots of colors can make even what is basically just an empty rectangular room for the most part, right? With one wall, like, I mean, going a bit at an angle, but otherwise it's just a simple room, which is really empty. There's nothing like here for you. There's nothing here except for the design of the room itself to draw your eye, right? That's what it's supposed to be for. And then you go down, and then it has a bit of connection to the other side of the castle on the ground, right? So this is the kind of building that I enjoy, right? It's just supposed to be for you to look at, right? And mostly it's for me to have the enjoyment of it while I'm building, and afterwards I can just come through and look at it, and it looks cool, right? And if I ever want to put something in here, if I decide to make this like a library or a storage room for whatever, I have a room with some space ready to go to put some stuff in here, right? Like furniture or whatever. And I think, you know, I think it came out pretty cool. I like it. So the second castle right now, before whatever the next expansion is, for now it's finished. Whenever I decide to expand it next, I will probably come up with a name for it as a proper city at this point, or town or village at least, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna be taking a look at the jobs board next and deciding what I want to do. Actually, I might as well take a look at it now and give you a look at the ideas that I've got. I don't even remember myself all of the stuff that I put on it, because some of those ideas are quite old. So let me take a look what's actually on there. So librarians in the trader village. I think, yeah, that's, I guess, still in progress, because I'm trying to get more librarians with access to more enchantments directly without having to, you know, try my luck at enchanting random books at the enchanting table to grab specific enchantments that I want. Auto wheat farm with oh yeah, that's in the megabase. That's the hydroponics section in the megabase. That's one of the projects that I'm considering for the next one, for the next build. Big dig decoration, right? Because the big dig is like finished functionally. It's been dug out, but it's still just a, you know, big box with ugly walls. So yeah, glass layer lake. I've been meaning, like, this has been on the jobs board for a long time, and the thing is, it doesn't look as good if you don't have like the connected glass textures, and I kind of don't want to use a mod like that, because I like to keep Minecraft as close to vanilla as I can. Of course, I am using the what is the mod called, actions and stuff, it just looks so cool, but it doesn't like really change the look of anything. It just gives some fancy animations, right? So that's awesome, right? I like it. Like the animations, gives the animations to animals as well. So it makes, like, you've got something moving around that makes the world feel a lot more alive. But doesn't really change. I mean, the resource pack does have its own texture pack, but I don't use it, right? I just use the vanilla textures. So I do use that resource pack, and I really enjoy it. But it doesn't really change the look of Minecraft, right? So I don't know about this one. Breeze Farm and Huge Shrine Chamber, Trial Keep Pixel Art. Yeah, so I did find that just enormously huge trial chamber that I cleaned out of tuff and copper blocks. I have a couple of chests of double chests of copper blocks of different kinds that I grabbed from there. I don't. So the problem with this is that I think it's a good idea for a build, but I don't exactly remember where that trial chamber is. I know I have a map for it, but I don't know which map it is. I don't remember where I put it. As of right now, I know it's somewhere. I have it somewhere. I just don't remember where it is. So I'm gonna have to locate the map before I can go back to trial chamber and consider doing something with that. Creaking Farm and Big Dig. Oh yeah, that's another idea, because I would like to have access to resin bricks. I think I only have one Creaking Heart so far. I know you can make more, right? You can craft them, but right now I only have one, I think, that I found in an actual pale oak, because I think you have to find the first one, right? So I did find one. I've got it somewhere. Do something with the nether part of the garden. Oh yeah, that's gonna be. Let's just say this is gonna be on the jobs board for a while. Bacon. Oh yeah, I have an idea for you know, the big, you know, I'm gonna talk about it in a moment. Nether dig around Dark Tower. Well, I suppose that changed when I decided to reset the nether, and I did build that nether hub recently, so I can take that off. Find the Mushroom Island. Yes. There is a Mushroom Island that I found at some point while I was randomly flying around, and I found two of those geode things that you can get a lot of amethyst and calcite blocks from, just sticking around of the ocean floor. Sticking out of the ocean floor, and at some point I found a mushroom island, which I think I built a building on, but I never wrote down the coordinates. I mean, I suppose I could just do, you know, locate mushroom island or something, and I probably will do that at some point just to find it. But I think first I want to give it a go and see if I can actually find it where it was. It has to be within a couple of thousand blocks, somewhere around my main area where I mainly work in the world. Because, I mean, having access to a naturally spawn-proof biome would be cool. So, yeah, Dirt Mansion, that's... I don't know. The problem with this is that with stuff like this is, you know, building like an elaborate looking building out of, you know, just a basic dirt block or something like that. The problem with that is that if you make it out of dirt, creepers can really easily destroy it, and of course, endermen can just steal the dirt blocks. Like, I wish there was a setting in the game, like natively in the game, because there is a command, of course, for game rule. What is it called? Game rule. Mob, like disallowing mobs to interact with blocks, but that also prevents villagers from picking up items, which means that you can't do some trades or give villagers food to encourage them to you know to have children. So that doesn't really work for me, right? So there is a game rule for this that you can just enable on or off, but like I don't like it because I would like to be able to, like, if you could disable this interaction for some mobs specifically, right? Then I could just disable it for creepers blowing stuff up, like not for damaging the player, but doing damage to the environment, right? I would still be happy to take damage from creepers that sneak up on me, but you know, having them destroy my builds, or endermen stealing dirt blocks and grass blocks and gravel or whatever, and of course gas when you're working in the nether, that stuff just annoys me because I play Minecraft to build things, right? So there is a resource pack that you can make from like Bedrock Tweaks, that website, which allows you to specifically pick which specific mob interactions you want to disable, right? So I think I even have it like loaded into the game, just not enabled right now, where you can just disallow creepers and gas to blow things up and endermen to pick up blocks, right? So they can still damage the player, but not damage your builds, yeah? But I turned it off a while ago. I think I haven't played it. I think I haven't used it in like over a year, maybe even 2 years. I don't remember. Because it does kind of feel like cheating, to be honest. So I wish there was a middle ground. Mojang, can you please add separate game rules for disabling creepers and ghast and enderman, please? That would be awesome. Because then it would be like, you know, oh, Mojang enabled this, so it's like Mojang endorsed, right? So it doesn't feel like cheating anymore, you know? So yeah, so the dirt mansion idea, I don't know. Maybe that's a maybe. Let's say that's a maybe. And this, so why it's called the bacon vault, because you know, bacon because obviously pigs bacon, but it's also a play on the word beacon. What, there must be a, oh yeah, one of these guys. So let me show you what this is supposed to mean. I need to go to the megabase for this. Yep, this way. Let it load in. That happens sometimes. You can see the deep storage down there. Yes, Minecraft, take your time. I'm not, because this is fantastic video content right now. So okay. All right, so I have the castle here. I mean, just the facade of a castle, right? And I was thinking, what if I actually put something behind the big door? And I had an idea that behind the big door, I could put a huge storage vault for all of the emeralds that I have from trading, turn them all into blocks, store them like physically as blocks in the world, right? And as guardians, I could lure over some hoglins from the nether through the portal, and in the overworld they would turn into zombie hoglins, which are not hostile to the player unless you poke them, right? I could name tag the hoglins, and I would name them something like, well, one of them I know for sure would be named Warpig, because it's a fun name, Warpig. So one of them would be named Warpig, and I would have to come up with a funny name for the other one. I was thinking of two specifically. So it would be a beacon vault, because storage of emerald blocks that I can use for beacons, and bacon because pigs will be guarding it. Yeah. So that's an idea for a build to put behind the huge door. Yeah. I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun. So yeah, I think most likely the next big project I'm gonna take on is this. I think it'll be this one. So this corner would become like, I would build like a big tall room where I could plant a tree, you know, with a floor of, and yeah, I know you can automate tree farming with like gas blowing the trees up, and then you just collect the blocks, and I know you can automate all that. I am not a redstone person. I don't really, not really. I just plain don't like doing redstone. I don't enjoy it. I don't understand it, and I don't really care to learn. Um, I just don't like it. I just don't like the complicated redstone in Minecraft. Like, I can appreciate when somebody builds something cool, but like a huge automatic door or huge automatic farm doesn't really excite me. Doesn't really do anything for me. I like builds. I like a cool looking build. I don't really care about complicated redstone. So I would just build like a simple version of a tree farm where you just have a big room, big enough to grow any type of tree in. And I grow the tree, I chop it down with my super axe, and then the floor. So I don't lose any blocks that fall down. The floor would just be covered with hoppers. Yeah. And then I would grab one farmer villager to have like an automatic wheat farm where he plants, and underneath the floor you've got a Minecraft running continuously, picking up the stuff that the villager drops, right? So that way you produce wheat automatically. And also, I guess for other crops as well, since I would be doing wheat, why not do one for carrots and potatoes and beetroot? Can they plant beetroot? I know they can plant carrots. I suppose they can plant every one of the basic crops, right? You just have to limit it to them. Like, give one villager only beetroot, one villager only wheat, one villager only potatoes or carrots, and then you can automate specific crops. Yeah. So that's what I want to do here. Yeah. And obviously it would be like, kind of a nature theme, like with lots of vegetation and stuff. But I don't know if I would like to go in a sort of like sci-fi direction where you have like kind of a clean looking lab with lots of trees and plants, or like sort of like this, but with like lots of vines and trees and plants everywhere, right? Or just go fantasy theme, like fantasy magical. I don't know. That's why I'm putting this project off for the moment, because I haven't decided on the sort of theme, right? Like sci-fi or fantasy, right? I have not decided yet. I think it would be kind of cool to sort of surround the Nether Castle with a sci-fi themed build on one side and the other side of it. So I think in that sense it would kind of be cool, and it would finally complete the bottom ring of the megabase, and I could move on to the next floor, next level, and start building up the actual part of the megabase that sticks out of the water from the outside. So yeah, I think that's what I need to make a decision on, and that will be the next big project that I will take on. This part. So I know I have kind of rambled on for quite a while in this video. Thanks if you've watched all of it. Hopefully you had it like going in the background, maybe while you were doing laundry or something practical. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you again when the next video update is, when I have something to show for the next video update, yeah, for this world. For now, that's it. Thank you, and goodbye.